beat it down, bitch, I'm still a high roller.
Hey guys, Jampy00 here. Today we're going to be checking out a match from World of Warplanes, match played by me in my Boeing P-26 pea shooter. This is a match where I've earned my first ace award in World of Warplanes. And yes, I know, why the hell am I playing this game? Well, to be quite honest with you, I found it pretty interesting. Why I chose to even bother installing it was simply due to the fact that premium accounts are now carried over all three of Wargaming's main offerings. World of Tanks, World of Warships, and World of Warplanes. So, with that, we'll get right into it. And we're going to be on the Winter War map. I'm going to be in my P-26 pea shooter, and I do get, spoiler alert, I do get the ace award, but you'll see that it comes with a certain level of consequence. If you guys aren't familiar with the Boeing P-26 pea shooter, it was a pretty interesting plane. I never really had any interest in it, but what kind of captured me and what I started doing a little bit of research on it is, why the hell did it have all these external bracing? Like, who the hell makes a plane like this? And really how it came about was, it was just before 1932, the Boeing P-26 pea shooter. It was literally the first all-American, all-metal production fighter aircraft and the first pursuit monoplane to enter squadron service for the United States Army Air Corps. It was designed and built by Boeing, and the very first prototype flew in 1932, and the type was still in use by the U.S. Army Air Corps as late as 1941 in the Philippines. Currently, there's only 2 surviving pea shooters, and at the time of reading the wiki article for you, there are 3 reproductions and 2 more under construction. So, just to give you a little bit of history on the design and the development of the P-26, the project was initially funded by Boeing to produce the Boeing Model 248, which began in September 1931 with the Army Air Corps, supplying the engines and the instruments. The design, which included an open cockpit, fixed landing gear, and externally braced wings, was the last such design procured by the United States Army Air Corps out of fighter aircraft, and you can kind of see why. The Model 248 had a high landing speed, which caused a number of accidents, and to remedy this, the flaps were fitted to reduce the landing speed. The Army Air Corps ordered 3 prototypes, and they designated them the XP-936, with the first flight on the 20th of March 1932. The Boeing XP-936 was still tricky to land. Because of the short nose, it tended to roll onto its back and would flip forward, injured a number of pilots. The prototype's unarmored headrest offered virtually no protection in such instances, and as a result, production model 266s, or the P-26As, had a taller armored headrest installed. And you can kind of see that when you change your fuselage in-game. You'll actually see that that changes. Deliveries to the United States Army Air Corps pursuit squadrons began in December 1933, with the last production aircraft in the series coming off the assembly line in 1936, designated the P-26C. Ultimately, 22 squadrons flew the pea shooter, with peak service being 6 squadrons in 1936. The P-26s were frontline fighters of the United States Army Air Corps until 1938. When Servetsky P-35s and Curtiss P-36s began to replace the P-26. A total of 20 P-26s were lost in accidents between 1934 and America's entry into World War II, but only 5 before 1940. There were a number of variants as well, starting with the XP-936, which was the original prototype, the P-26A, which was powered by a 600 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R1340-27. There was 111 built of those, followed by the P-26B, which was another fuel injected this time, 600 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R1340-33. There was only 2 of those built. And then the P-26C, which was back to a carbureted version of the R1340-33, and then the final variant was the Model 281, which was the export version of the P-26, which 11 were built for China and 1 was built for Spain, making a total of 12 being built. Even Spain only used that plane as a demonstration plane. They never actually followed up. Really, the last service for this plane was in Guatemala. It was used until 1957, which made it gave it a pretty long and interesting history of the 151 total planes that were manufactured. Just kind of giving you some dollars. Back in the day when this plane was being built, it had a unit cost of $14,009. So, interesting history and development of this aircraft, and I kind of gained a new appreciation, and you kind of see that old school design and that new school design kind of being melded together for this aircraft, which is quite interesting. Really, one comparable aircraft that you could note on the other side would be the Hawker Hurricane, which actually still, in some parts of the fuselage still actually used a cloth as opposed to aluminum, and even the wings originally were designated as being a cloth covered doped wing. Finally though, Hawker did decide to make those a hard shelled wing, which was pretty interesting, and surprisingly enough, a Hawker Hurricane is not available in World of Warplanes. At least when I looked, I didn't see one. So once again, kind of going back into this battle, started off with two really nice quick kills in the beginning. We're obviously working on our next kill here, and I really do like the maneuverability of this plane. It does get matched, as we saw earlier on, by a biplane or something of a lighter fuselage that is going to be able to outmaneuver me. But if you're able to snap that air brake on and get your plane to where you want to be, chances are it's going to do it. The one thing, of course, is I really need to work on my targeting, because I probably wasted more rounds just flinging lead all over the place than actually hitting targets. I probably did more destruction to the ground than to any actual airplanes in the game. But we're on kill number 4, and I think this is going to be it for us now. This is where we get to the big potatoes. They're coming up here. Some mad cheddar for Jampy00. Even though, unfortunately, this match looks to be a wash at this point. You can certainly see that the maneuverability of a biplane or a tier 1 lighter plane, it can outdo me. And there we go. We got our Graph medal. And we do get our ace badge as well. There we go. So I was really happy by doing that, and then my happiness quickly turned to sorrow as I realized that I had 2 of the 3 remaining planes on my tail, and really I just could not shake them at this point. Already pretty low on hit points just from taking down the first 5 planes, and subsequently I was just not on par with shaking them off. Got a damaged wing, which really made my day bad. And then the inevitable, I just accepted my fate, and it was time to go to bed. But a good fight nevertheless, even though the match was abysmal. And Joe 10 Accurate certainly did a good job in taking me down. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this match. I'll try to bring more as we find some good ones. Until next time, thanks for watching. Wow.